of the universe. So what happens is even companies like Netflix or Apple, they create replicated data centers in different parts of the world, because you're not going to watch a Netflix movie in Japan and click onto some server in the US. So Netflix is a company that uses IPFS. If you want, we can do a short demo of my product. It is live. But I do two different things that are different, and I'll explain to you.
And how is IPFS connected to FileCoin?
Well, FileCoin is a token created by, hang on a second, I guess I've got the wrong password. Yeah. I guess I don't want to create a new account, but anyway, so the way, so FileCoin was created by the same company, and it's a token, because one of the problems with IPFS is to give incentive to people to store data. In the beginning, it was you voluntarily created your own IPFS account, and you would store parts of the data on your computer. So you would participate in the network, and you would then, I guess, do it because you wanted. Yeah, sorry, is that Vicky or? So what? And let's go to their website, and you can see. You should, if you go to IPFS.io. Oops, misspelled it. So you can go to this website, and you can actually download the software. There is an application, and you can participate in the network. So the point of FileCoin was to give incentive to people to store data, and also they're required to validate that they're still storing data. So if you think of IPFS, it's an alternate. So basically, it's the real internet in the sense that the lifespan. Oh, here's a good question. What is the lifespan of a web page in days? A wild guess, anybody?
Web page. So basically, it's get created and stored in a server, and when the server dies, it goes away.
Yeah, what's the lifespan of it? In other words, if you create a website and you create a web page displaying the fancy slippers that you make and sell on your web page, how long? What's the life expectancy of that web page, in average?
5 years.
100 days.
100 days. Okay.
So that means that we are losing our history. Okay, so if you go back 10 years ago and there's a company, I don't know, I've been around for so long that I've seen practically every company disappear except Apple, Microsoft, and Oracle. I mean, I can name 5 to 10 companies that are still around today. So if you think of a company that came out with some amazing product and they have a website and they started 15 years ago and they go out of business, what happens to those servers and the content of those servers? It's gone, isn't it?
Is it in the case of there's no updates or regular publication through the website?
Well, there's no updates because the company went out of business. They shut down that server, don't they?
Okay.
So we're losing our history. So the IPFS is called the permanent internet because if somebody pays, especially if somebody pays to maintain the content, it will always be available. And I don't know if you've heard of unstoppable domains. Does anybody know what an unstoppable domain is?
Yes.
Okay. So you can with unstoppable domains, which is basically a decentralized DNS system. You pay around $40 to get a domain name with a .crypto, .zil, and nobody can ever shut you down. So an example of using IPFS is when the Turkish government decided that they didn't want their citizens to read Wikipedia about Turkey. So they blocked it. And so Wikipedia went to IPFS, uploaded all the data, and nobody can stop it. So it's basically a permanent internet in the sense it's never destroyed. It's always there. Nobody can shut it down. And unfortunately, I don't know why it's not as popular as it could have been. I think the use cases of it are amazing. The storage capabilities. So another aspect of it is, have anybody downloaded torrent movies? Okay.
Yes, long time ago.
Yeah, because it's a naughty thing to do. It's bad. so, so one of the things you'll notice if you wanted to download a movie, you would go to something that had maybe 5 participants or 20 participants. The more people downloading, increased the speed that the download would happen for you. So IPFS works in the same way. The more people participating in the network, the faster it gets, which is the reverse of our current HTTP protocol. And so there's another advantage. So basically, if you're looking at a picture of a cat, and part of that picture could be some guy in Starbucks next to you who's hosting that file or that piece of that file. So you become the network. All the participants are the network. And I don't know what, let me give one more try to my login. I haven't used it for a while, so is it? I still think this is a viable product. Oh, okay. So what it is say when you upload a file, it actually encrypts it first and then it breaks into little pieces and saves it in a decentralized manner. And you can view it or you can share it, okay? So if you want to share this with someone, you go here and you have your address book. You can add people to your address book, but the only way you can see these files is if you have the application and you're sent it, because it's encrypted. First of all, not only is it encrypted, but it's decentralized. And so this is how simple it is. I mean, and the fact is we don't control our medical records. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Have you ever gone to a doctor and said, can I have a copy of that blood test? So this project does use IPFS, and I'm using a platform called Piñata and their servers, because IPFS could also be created as a private network. If you are a medical institution and you want to secure your data, you don't want to share your data with unknown servers, so you can spin up your own bank of servers within your organization. So there is another token competing with FileCoin. It's called Weave. And they have a plan where basically, I think it's they save your data for 100 years. And I don't really like that because it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Do we know what's going to happen 100 years from now? And what happens to the next 200 years? You know, it's a little too far to go. So another topic we can cover is in my book, I have questions about like AI where people say, oh, where do I start? How do I start using AI in my everyday life and my professional life? And so, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to take a break to load some files. Do you want to do a presentation, Sean, and do some of your stuff?
Sure.
Okay, I'll stop sharing on my end. And you can see Sean is Mr. Gopher.
Screen on. Okay, so I wanted to touch base just in general, a few AI tools that maybe could be quite useful depending on what you're doing, or maybe you might find uses for things you haven't been doing, but now that there's all these AI tools out there, you can, really start churning. I mean, there's so much that you can do with AI. You can't even cover it all in one meeting or in one topic. But of course, we're all aware of ChatGPT. We've covered Go Forget, and basically, an amplification of using ChatGPT by optimizing prompt engineering. So we'll breeze past those. Okay, is everyone familiar with Midjourney or AI generation for images?
Yeah.
Are you guys using any other platforms, Stable Diffusion, maybe OpenAI's version of it? What are your thoughts on it? Was that Yazid?
Yes. For me, I have tried like the Midjourney, but the reality, like you have to sign up, you have to go on public for generating like art, basically. So I've switched into Leonardo AI. I have no idea if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. So
Yeah.
let me see. It's my screen. Oh, you know what?
But still, it's not stable. They're trying to generate like characters with fingers, with like part. Doesn't generate like the human being in a alternate ideal way.
Yeah, and
Hang on a second. That's an interesting question. So I'm going to show you later my avatar I created, starting off with Midjourney. But do you really want to do something that's totally realistic?
do you want to pull something up right now, Nico?
Yeah. Could you? Okay. Let me go to my LinkedIn.
I should have the video too here locally. You want to just pull it up?
Yeah. You want to pull up the latest
Okay.
avatar that I made?
1 second.
Because in a way, people say, well, that's creepy. So there's a fear element, but also you don't really want it to be totally realistic, do you? I mean, I'm saying.
Where's this going to open?
Oh, is this which video you're going to?
Do you have problem?
Okay.
Wait, did you hear that snippet or no? I don't know if I click the. Let me see. I'll stop sharing and I'll reshare just to make sure that the audio is going to get transmitted.
So the avatar you're going to see is something I used 4 AI tools to generate. The first one was Midjourney to create the image.
So yeah, this avatar right here, this was created in Midjourney, and then
The image. That's the first step.
right, and then we used another tool called DID. Well, here let's just watch the video quickly, and then we'll go to that website. Okay, and then just confirm at the beginning if you can hear.
Problems getting the right response
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
from ChatGPT? Well, welcome to Go Forget, a friendly AI tool that helps you get the best results from ChatGPT without being an expert. Go to goforget.com, watch our demo video, and start your free trial. Empower yourself with amazing skills.
So what did you think of that?
That's perfect. Like if you like try to use the hey gen, instead of the DID is way better than like
Oh, really?
Which one is it?
called Heygen. HEYGEN. That's correct.
Oh, Hagen. Okay. I mean, another one I was also going to mention is Synthesia.
I want the Heygen.
Okay, nice. You see, that was my point at the very beginning, is that there's so many tools and so many things coming out. I mean, and this is what's great, is we can come together and share, you know, what we're finding success with or not finding success with. Okay, nice. So here's another one. We'll check that out.
Like this, like the
Yeah, that's what we.
So we used 11 Labs to actually create to narrate. You know, we just had a text prompt that we drafted ourselves, and then we optimized a little bit for like marketing purposes to, you know, give it a little bit more snazz using Go Forget. And then we pasted that into 11labs.com. We've trained our voices on 11 Labs as well. But in this instance, you know, obviously going with the avatar, which was a generated like female professional, we chose one of the voices there on 11 Labs, and boom, with 3 or 4 AI tools, we just generated
I've actually cloned my voice so it can read my book, and then I found out that I can do it in different languages. So now I can read my book in Polish, German, Italian, French. And I've given it to friends. They've said that it's actually realistic, or they understand it, because I don't speak Spanish, don't speak German. And so there's a new, I upgraded my 11 Labs, and there's a new professional one where instead of a 1 minute audio test, it's a 45-minute audio that you have to record. And then they're going to take about a week to build my new clone. And the clone is actually quite, what's the word, realistic. I'll actually play it for you, or if you can you've got my English clone?
I do not. I don't have a hard copy saved. Do you want to pull that up?
Let's finish this piece, and let me find it on my other computer to send it.
Okay. Well, I can go over Replit real quick, but just in the realm of kind of, you know, we had voice narration with 11 Labs. There's a few other options. Of course, the video generation that we just saw. Synthesia is another option. If you want to add another element to like complete content creation, you could add background music. And then you could add that obviously to videos that you create. So SoundRaw is a AI tool that will generate beats for you, sounds. So let's just sample a couple tracks here. I guess it's loading the web page. Oh, it's creating something. Okay. Let's try this out. Would you believe that that was created by AI?
Oh, do you want to show that clip of the CNBC?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's see. Where is that? So let's put all that together. We made an avatar. We generated a voice. We have a script. Maybe we have some background music. You know, we set our video stage. I mean, how far can that go? Let's watch a little clip here. This is from CNBC.
Welcome back to Last Call. I'm Brian Sullivan. If It's Deepfake Friday, and we're talking to an innovative company that can replicate any human's face, voice, and personality through an algorithmic process in a matter of minutes. Don't believe me? Well, I'm not real. I'm a Brian Sullivan digital double, created by a start.
What?
That's so horrible.
What's that? Say that again? Hey, Sean.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm having some connection troubles here. But I think we were able to get a good sample there from that 15, 20 seconds.
So that was a fake reporter, okay?
And then here's the real individual. Okay, here we go. We have a side-by-side.
As we dive deeper into this revolutionary technology, I have not seen that before then. They told me I could not look at it, just kind of wear the same thing. That was amazing, a little terrifying. I'm shocked at how handsome I actually am. It was a little bit, I mean, this is amazing. So let's talk about that now. Global brands are now working.
All right. I'll share the link in the chat if anyone wants to watch the full clip. Did you want to take over now, Nico?
Yeah, so give me a second. So what's going to happen to people reporting, doing news? Is most of the content going to be generated? And so another problem that people have discussed is Midjourney takes all existing artwork, okay, and it takes it from artists. So why can't? Sorry, is anybody speaking? Is Vicky?
They've had their mic on the entire time. Maybe they didn't mean to speak, but okay. I'm not sure.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Feel free to chime in.
Let me just go to this. Okay, so I did a 1 minute recording, and it's cloned my voice. Okay, can you hear it or not?
Can't hear it.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Zoom has this thing where if you don't tell it to optimize for sharing, it doesn't, which is annoying. Just do it. Okay.
Computer systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as perception, reasoning, learning, problem-solving, and decision-making. AI is a multidisciplinary field that combines computer science, mathematics, engineering, psychology, and neuroscience.
So I had it read part of my book. What do you guys think?
Are you English?
Am I English?
Yeah.
Oh.
You had a little bit of an accent there. I mean, a little bit of a different twist on your voice, but it really did come off as you.
Well, what I did is I told her that I want an American accent, but I think it wasn't fooled because I was actually born in a British colony in Africa. So somehow it knew that. So I don't know why I kept on insisting on doing the British accent. So what do you think of that cloning?
Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds like me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I let people listen to it, I say, well, what do you think? And they'll say, I don't know, you were talking about something. And I said, no, it wasn't me. That's the problem. It wasn't me. And making it convert to other languages is really helpful because then I can narrate my book in other languages, which I couldn't in the past. So
Oh yeah. Do you have your Mexican narrative?
No, Spanish, Espanol. Don't say Mexican, please. Let me see if I can.
Well, Mexican culture, but Spanish speaking, yes.
Yeah. Does anybody speak Spanish?
See?
Sí, señor. Anybody else?
Yes.
Okay. So we got an audience of 2. Let me find it and send it. And while I'm sending that, let me share with you part of my new chapter in my book, because one of the things that people struggle with and say, oh, okay, I'm meant to use AI now in my work. Where do I start? And so I give some examples and I say you can do some really simple things. Like, for example, my first test was how can it improve my communication? In other words, English is not my first language. And my being an engineer and a programmer, I never felt used to know what a pronoun was. I didn't care about the English language, you know? And when I started writing my book, I just thought, oh my God, I'm pretty bad, you know? So I decided to use tools, but also, like, if I want to send an email to a client and say, dear customer, we've just released our new AI tool, Go Forget. So I wrote an email like I normally would, okay? Then I fed it to ChatGPT, and I said, fix this email by making it more compelling and professional. And it did. It says things that I would never have thought of. Go Forget is a sophisticated web application meticulously crafted to enhance your experience in deriving optimal responses. The whole email was spot on. So that's a simple tool you can use. Or I go further where I say, okay, I'm starting my own business and I want you to build a business plan for me. So I tell it what business I want to go into, and then it gives me the response, executive summary, yada, yada. Then I go to a certain subtopic like I think 5.1, where I talked about, I want to discuss in further detail the marketing strategy. So I asked it to give me a more detailed marketing strategy. So look what it does. I mean, it says content strategy on LinkedIn. So this was being an AI consultant. Share informative articles, insights, and commentary on AI trends, best practices, industry news. Do share stories. I mean, this is a pretty detailed business plan, isn't it? So those are some of the things that you can do, and I think what anybody can start. Okay, so let me do the Spanish version.
Hola, mi nombre es Nico y soy el autor de este libro titulado Una guía para herramientas de IA. La inteligencia artificial no tomará tu trabajo. Una persona utilizando la IA lo hará. Primero, debemos definir la IA para entender cuáles son los componentes que la componen. IA significa inteligencia artificial, que se refiere al desarrollo de sistemas informáticos que pueden realizar tareas que normalmente requieren inteligencia humana, como percepción, razonamiento, aprendizaje, resolución de problemas y toma de decisiones. La IA es un campo multidisciplinario que combina ciencias de la computación, matemáticas, ingeniería, psicología y neurociencia.
So what do you think of that? Anybody?
I mean, that's great.
Anybody?
Excelente.
Oh, you did I know I have no idea what I said. Okay. So that's why I've been sending my Polish files to a Polish friend, German file to German, just to make sure that I'm not saying rubbish, you know. I think it translated pretty well. I mean, 11 Labs didn't do the translation. I took it to ChatGPT to do the translation, but then 11 Labs does allow you to speak other languages, and I think it's German, Italian, French, Polish, Hindi, and I forget which other ones. There's another couple of them. So moving on, here's an interesting new YouTube. It's influencer.
Wait, stop. This girl does not exist. She is fake.
So that is now moving on to not just the animation of the face, but maybe body. So everything is progressing at a high rate. So, and let me go to what we're doing, and maybe you guys are also interested, is the Go Forget, but we're going to start a new channel on a podcast that we're going to discuss AI components, and the link Sean, could you put the link for the YouTube on chat?
Sure. Yeah.
So basically we have
Audio LDM2.
builds the prompt in a way this leads to a lower quality experience on Yahoo. So anyway, if you want to follow us on the YouTube channel, you can do that as well, and that'll be more consistent. Meetup is interesting because I see ebbs and sometimes people joining, other leaving. I don't see consistency in terms of a long-term audience, and I don't know how long you guys have been on Meetup and what your thoughts are on the platform. Any feedback?
I use Eventbrite a lot. I rarely use Meetup.
Okay. Eventbrite is more for events, isn't it? Where you want to charge people to?
You can, but you can also do it for free.
Okay.
Is it kind of also like a platform to like set up meetings like this and connect? Okay. I haven't seen it, or I wasn't aware that it's used that way. So that's good to know. Okay.
Anybody else got any input on Meetup? Because I think the groups are dwindling, because I always get a notification to take over somebody else's Meetup. I used to do physical meetups in the beginning, pre-COVID, here in Pacific Beach, but then after COVID, I tried to do some physical hybrid ones, but they're kind of complicated because I have to manage a room of people plus the video audience, and that tends to be a little difficult. So what we're trying to do, though, is see if we can integrate, and I know most of you have this desire, like, to learn more about Bitcoin, and I think that there's a shift in, I sense the fact that the governments don't want people using cryptocurrencies. They can't stop it, but you've heard of Fed Now and the digital dollar that they want to introduce. So the US government and governments all over the world want to create CBDCs, so they can actually have programmable money. And I heard there's even an option where they will give you $2,000 a month into your wallet if you implant a chip in your hand. So when will that happen? I think technology and the governments around the world are moving rapidly, because for the Federal Reserve to come out with its Fed Now happened quite quickly. So there's a rush for, so here's my other twist. Having written 2 books about money, is when the government prints money, they're actually devaluating your earning power by 10% per year. So people will say, groceries are going up. My house is going up. Everything, commodities, supplies, they're all going up. Well, what if you realize that your buying power is going down 10%? Do you know in 1967, a house on average cost $25,000 in the US? And in my book, one of my money books, I did an example that if you transacted in gold all these years, the price of everything would have stayed the same. So we're going into an economy. Has anybody heard of the WEF, or the World Economic Forum?
Yes, we have.
Okay. So their slogan is, you will own nothing and be happy. Okay. So they don't want you to own your house. They don't want you to own your car. You'll rent everything. You'll lease or rent everything. And so the goal of government control and the fact that you won't be able to opt out of certain things in the future is getting closer and closer. So anyway, we're coming up on the hour. We've got about 7 minutes. Any questions, any input, anything you guys would like to contribute? It's your chance to say something, ask something. Zero, miden. How do you say it in Spanish, Sean?
Nada, cero.
And nada. Oh, zero. That's the same in Greek. Miden means zero in Greek. So it's a similar term, huh? Well, if you want, you can send me messages on Meetup and tell me what you would like to discuss in detail. I've been doing this for a long time. I cover a variety of topics, and I really feel like AI should be on your radar. I think it's going to be.
Ale asked, what is the future of AI?
Okay, so basically we're screwed. Okay. They say, I think it's 2057, will there be singularity where the fact of AI or general AI is going to be on par with humans. Right now, I think AI is more intelligent than 60% of the people on this planet. So if you think of things like, I'm going to spend 4 years getting an education, but then I can, I don't have to get a medical degree, but I can have AI pass the test, and I can ask AI all the questions I need. How does education change? My thought has been always to see how we can use this as the best tool and not be worried about how it's going to take over our jobs. And I think there was an interesting post on LinkedIn where they showed a little robot cleaning toilets, and somebody mentioned, well, that robot I like, okay, because nobody wants to clean toilets. So will AI be accepted and take over the jobs that we as humans don't want? I think content creation is going to be replaced by AI. And the reason they're striking in Hollywood, the writers, is because their job is at jeopardy. So the future is, and here's this interesting statistics. I did this on my on the last podcast, where it said that Microsoft is laying off 10,000 employees and they're replacing them with AI. And then another article said that Microsoft is disbanding and firing everybody that works in the ethics department for AI. So about 10 months ago, I took a course with IBM on AI, and one of the main components was the ethics. And I think, well, that's bullshit, because whenever you got money involved, I think all that stuff goes out the window, because I think Elon Musk at one point says, hey guys, let's all stop and hit a pause button and assess where we're going. And everybody looked at each other and said, I'm not stopping. So we're at the point where ethics is out the door. Everybody's going to use AI to its maximum capability. Even the military, I think, must be looking at how they can use it. And what was that new thing that they did? God, what was that news I heard? They're using in Australia, they're using drones and AI to determine traffic patterns. And I don't know if any of you have been to like Scotland or England, where they don't have intersections with red lights. They have roundabouts. And they drive on the other side of the road. So I went there in January, and it was nighttime, and it was raining, and I got into this car and had a stick shift, and I had to drive on the wrong side of the road and enter all these roundabouts and give way. And it was a traumatic experience, And so they're analyzing traffic patterns. Everybody's doing everything. They want to use AI for every consumable thing that exists. So will it replace your jobs? I don't know what your plans are, what your professions are going to be. Are you picking a profession that it may be obsolete already? Can you answer that, or you tell me the answer to that question? Have you thought about your profession you're studying now and how it's going to be impacted by AI?
Almost all like fields are impacted right now. There is no single field that's not impacted by AI, but I do believe the AI has no value without a data, and the data is already generated by humans. So
there's going to be a level of symbiosis. There has to be a level of interaction. If every living human being was wiped off the face of the planet today, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, think of this. Think of Midjourney, okay? So it takes all the images created by real people and it breaks into tiny little pieces, and you ask it to do a painting of a gorilla riding a unicorn going to the moon. Okay, so it goes in its database and looks for all the little pieces to make up this new image now of a gorilla. Because I don't know which human would ever do a painting of a gorilla riding a unicorn going to the moon. I don't think it's a much requested painting. But think about this. So say 100% of the content at one point in time, in the beginning, was 100% human content. Then you start using AI, and if you've gone to Midjourney and seeing the volume of images created from people's imaginations, it's mind-blowing. I mean, I've never taken LSD, but when I look at that, it's like being on LSD to see all these people's text prompts and all the results of what they get. So say now you're at a point where 5% of all online content of images is AI, and 95 is human. At what point of time will 90% of the content of images online be created by AI? So it feeds it on itself in the sense that at a certain point, yes, the human was the primary creator of these arts, these works of art. But could that go to zero? Possibly. I think probably it's going to go to a very small percentage. So I don't know if you agree with that concept in terms of, we need a human. It can't do things without a human. It has no conscience. It has no emotion. There is a YouTube video I watched once that was kind of a shocking video in terms of AI communicating with someone. And I've created some avatars that you can actually talk to and it talks back to you, and you can have a conversation. And I'm looking to see how to apply it in the medical industry. If someone's depressed, it's late at night, they have no one to call. Can they find solace by talking to this chat bot? So anybody can respond to that?
Yeah, I have seen that. But it feels like in the next 10 years, 20 years, if you guys have watched the movie, it's called iRobot.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw that the other night where it says, do you have emotions? Why did you kill your master?
But there's an issue with AI in general. It does a lot of self-referencing. If you ask a question, for ChatGPT, it might provide you with false information. Feels like it's legit, but the info you
yeah, but again, this is the key, and that's why we created Go Forget, is that something is bad, like a knife can be used to cut your onion, okay? Can you stab and kill someone? Yes. So when people are trying to sabotage it and make it fail or do bad things, they have a bad intention. So with Go Forget, we ask real questions with an honest goal of getting a correct answer. We don't want it to tell lies to us, okay? So you have to set it up properly. So here's this avatar. Let me see how long this clip is.
Quick, I think what Yazid was touching on was actually more like AI hallucinations, where, I mean, an AI is a chat bot or whatever is only as effective or efficient as to the extent that it's trained, and obviously whatever underlying logic that drives it. So
yeah.
If you try to ask it, you can have some stuff go wrong.
Do you ever find it funny watching these little robots? There's one that was playing soccer and the woman was trying to knock it off. It was trying to score a goal. So let's watch a bit of this clip, and then I think this is the one where, oh no, this is not. This is the one that's kind of like creepy, but I think this is the one that's short here.
I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
Could you tell us?
What do you think of them apples? Is it coming faster than you thought, Yazid?
Yeah. You got a quick response. She's so fast.
So I think it's going to all happen quicker than you think. I think the acceleration is actually more rapid than you think. The adoption, the money that all these companies are pouring in, they can't. They want to spend every penny they have to get an advantage. And like I said, when Elon Musk said, "Let's take a pause because we need to think about this," and he's warned about this for years. That we have no laws, we have no regulations. Let me see. Are you following me? Yeah, he's right. There's no rules and regulations. See, my camera, I have this camera so I can walk around and stand, and it follows me around the place. So in a way, I'm part robot. So anyway, any closing notes on what we've discussed today? Oh, by the way, Sean, we forgot to record it, man. You see, this is like IPFS. We've now lost this.
Well, here's the thing. Going forward, as we stated, we're starting the podcast. So our plan, and also to touch on, I don't necessarily know setting up Eventbrite, but I'm sure you could look into it. Just check out the website and, look up how you can start networking through Eventbrite. I think that was a question Vicky asked. But our plan is to start live streaming the podcast, recording it as well, and then obviously hosting either like a Zoom or interacting through like the YouTube live stream. And of course, everyone here is welcome to join, and we'll continue to kind of keep a hybrid mode of operation, and as we continue to grow and scale up, I think we'll build a nice community just interacting and developing and talking about AI and other interesting topics.
Yeah, and I'm looking at chat and Camille.
I mean, we can discuss it after the meeting, Nico, but did you end up getting the stream code for the live stream?
I didn't look.
Okay, so.
But here's a response to Camille in chat. So for those who can see decentralization as a reality, but I think decentralization doesn't fit with AI, because I think AI is more of a control thing. If you think about like going to the airports now, where you get off a flight, and I was going to take my passport to show the border patrol, and the guy says, "Welcome home, Nicholas." I didn't even show him my passport, nothing. So it's getting to the point where I think AI is contributing to a centralization versus decentralization. And trust me, I'm all for decentralized everything, identity, money, you name it. And that's why for me, Bitcoin is the only salvation I can see in terms of controlling your money, and what happens with banks in the future if they fail. I mean, I witnessed it in Greece, where for 4 years they shut your bank accounts and you could only withdraw €400 a week. It doesn't matter how much money you had. So imagine if that happened elsewhere. It happened in Cyprus. So I personally think you need to keep an eye open for your financial situation as well, and make sure that you invest in the right things. For me, investing in Bitcoin long term is one of the only solutions I see.
But what's the exchange that you recommend us to use? Like as of now in Canada, the Binance, as you know, it's one of the largest exchange. So it's going to be shut down soon, like in 2 months from now.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, and almost like all other like brokers, even though like interactive brokers, they already started with the trading with the Bitcoin and Ethereum. Solana, I believe, like just take double first will symbol as one of the brokers for stock market. They already listed those kind of coins in their exchange, because they already have an agreement with the government with the regulation. Coinbase, either like in Canada, is the same. They just they are already listed with the regulation, so they are going align with the regulation, except for the Binance. Binance is going to be soon delisted. So like end of day, I feel like it's decentralized and centralized at the same way. So it's going to be monitored.
Well, KYC, back in the day in 2016, it was the Wild West. There was no KYC. Most governments ignored cryptocurrency. They didn't think it was anything on the radar. Now that they see that it's an alternative competition to currencies, monetary currencies in the world, they want to stop it. So with KYC, like you said, I think Coinbase entered the market in Canada. Now there's regulations. I opened my account with Coinbase in 2011. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Back then there was no KYC. There was nothing. All I gave them was my email address. And obviously I'm more of a proponent of storing your cryptocurrency on your own physical ledger. Never keep your cryptocurrencies on an exchange, because in reality, you don't own that. the private key is controlled by the exchange. If you look at, so I know different countries, Canada is weird because what Trudeau did with the truckers, I think, was a very bad move on his part, by freezing accounts. And I think he tried to freeze cryptocurrency accounts.
Yeah, but even though like anyone who goes like and protest, like this just came out like in the news like a couple of days. They said like anyone who's going to participate in any kind of protesting that's going against the government or whatever, his bank account basically is going to be free. So they are working on this right now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Trudeau goes away soon, huh? I mean, he's one of the WEF, the World Economic Forum's. What do they call it? In Nazi Germany, they had the youths, Nazi youth camp, or he's part of the WEF youth camp. You know that he was brought up under WEF and placed in a position of power. I don't think he's done anything good for Canada. I think, first of all, your problems with real estate are going to be really bad soon,
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that I guess you have to do it the legal way, but I know that you can take your crypto off exchanges.
Yeah, wallet.
Yeah, I know
you
PayPal
to transact with it, but you can at least hold currencies that you believe in.
Well, you can transact. You can transact
with the okay.
Yeah, you can send your cryptocurrency to anybody in the world anytime you want from your wallet.
With the address, okay.
Yeah, it's not an exchange. It's in your possession. It's your money in your bank. So I see it as a generational wealth. It's a long-term investment. If you're young, you should put away a little bit every month. I shouldn't be giving financial advice. Just to preface at the beginning of the video, all this information is my opinion and it's not advice for anybody. Do your own homework. I've been studying all these things for many years. I think that Bitcoin in itself is going to be around forever. Other cryptocurrencies may disappear because I've seen a lot of them go away. Obviously, there's some core products like Ethereum, Solana, that Chainlink.
Think about the XRP.
Of which one?
XRP. As you know, there was like case against them.
Yeah, so I got involved with XRP way back in the beginning, and I got out of it because this is the problem. They own a lot of the XRP, and what they do is every 6 months or so, they sell a lot to fund themselves. And so I don't like it when a company like that controls so much of its assets that they can then sell it and drive down the price. And there's speculation, obviously, because they won that judgment. But then the SEC came back and countered that, and they're fighting that. I just think it's too speculative. Unless you want to speculate, then you speculate. I'd rather go with something that's more steady, that cannot be impacted. Because if you look at the price of Bitcoin, you can go back to when it was a fraction of a cent, and it's 26,000 now. And I perceive that it's going to continue. Like the question I asked, Go Forget, what is going to be the price of Bitcoin? And I think what it said in that response was very accurate. It was conservative, but accurate. And again, nobody knows what really will happen. None of us. The experts don't know. I listen to so many people talk about predictions about recession. Oh, it's going to be terrible. And then, oh, maybe it's not going to be a recession. Back and forth.
Comments, Nico, from Camille, holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and then some AI stocks, Microsoft, Tesla, Nvidia, a little bit of Apple and Amazon. And then Kate was also asking about FileCoin. What do you think of FileCoin going forward? Do you hold FileCoin?
No, I don't. So I'll answer that question first. I understand it has utility, but the problem is for FileCoin to be successful, people have to believe in a decentralized storage system. And based on the last 7 years, I see the adoption as too slow. So I think FileCoin, what's the price now? Because I remember it went all the way to 55 or something. I don't know what it is now. So I kind of stick to a few. So basically BTC, yes. Ethereum, not so much. Instead of Doge, I like Shiba Inu because it's got utility. Doge is only, or Doge, or how you pronounce it, is Elon Musk, basically. What is he going to do? Is he going to accept payment of Teslas? Does he sell?
Yeah, he accepts Tesla payments from Dogecoin.
Oh, he has already?
Yeah, his whole store is open to Dogecoin.
But the store, I'm talking about the cars.
The cars, or the accessories, are open to, spending your Dogecoin on Tesla products.
Okay, so you can buy a Tesla with Doge. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. And I mean, Elon was such a Bitcoin, advocate and evangelizer. And then he moved to Doge and then stripped Bitcoin as a payment for any of his products. And now Doge is the only payment. And I try to see what Elon's doing. And then, I think that it was a really hard move for him to move away from Bitcoin in the way he did. That might have been driven by Tesla's, stockholders to make him do that. But
well, let me tell you why he did it then. So we can start with a simple explanation. He's building a product that's meant to be eco-friendly, okay? And then everybody starts talking about how much energy Bitcoin uses to validate.
Right, your classic cognitive dissonance of two opposing things.
Yeah, so he had to do that. And then, people, and this is the weird part because I've been mining for years. So here's the stupid answer to that question in terms of who would mine Bitcoin at a loss? Nobody would really use normal electricity to mine Bitcoin because you're not profitable.
No, it's not scalable yet, but it will be.
No, profitable. So, for example, do I use dirty energy and expensive energy to mine? No. Does El Salvador is going to start using volcanic energy? Is Iceland using geothermal? Is expulsion of gases in Texas used to mine Bitcoin? Yes. So if you think about all the companies that are mining Bitcoin, they're doing it in a green way. I think once we move and people can validate that it's green, he may change his tune. And somebody look it up because I don't think you can buy a Tesla with Doge. I think you can buy accessories and stuff with it.
I believe so too. Yeah, you can't buy the Tesla itself. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are accepting the Dogecoin for merge that's provided by Tesla. That's it. But Tesla, in reality, they accepted the Bitcoin just for a short time during COVID. So you had it.
Yes, they did, and yeah, I followed the whole trajectory. But his whole tune changed very rapidly, and I don't think that was actually his belief system. I think that was generated from his surroundings that kind of influenced him to make that decision at that time.
Yeah, but take one thing in consideration with him. He doesn't care what he says. He doesn't give a shit what people think about him. Okay. So,
and I think that's great. That's purity. That's what I think we should all be that way. We should just innovate.
Yeah, but you know what? People will say you're irresponsible. You're the owner of this company, CEO, whatever, and you're being irresponsible by saying these things publicly. And so,
Well, that's innovation in itself, to see something that's happening beforehand. I'm not going to defend Elon here because I see his, other side, which is alarming for most people. But if you think about really the way he's taking everything to a different chapter, you really can't ignore him.
no, you can't. And I think now people are saying he's got an edge when it comes to SpaceX and satellite distribution. And look, he's from South Africa. He came to Canada or the States to study mechanical engineering. I'm from Southern Africa. I have a degree in mechanical engineering. I love the fact that he's disruptive, and he's got this energy that I don't know how he does it. To do all these different products like the tunneling, the Tesla cars, SpaceX, the satellites. I mean, he's doing amazing things in so many different.
He is. His name should actually not be Elon. It should be Seymour, because he sees everything. He sees more. He just sees more.
Oh, like the word, I like seafood. When I see food, I like it, or whatever.
Exactly. He sees more. His name should be Seymour.
Yeah. I mean, he's got this disease. I always think it's odd where they call it Asperger. I don't know why you come up with a disease called that. And I'm not sure what the details of what this disease is. But I think
it's on the autistic ADHD spectrum. My nephew has it, and it's highly, of a savant. It's like, that savant, the savant part of Elon is amazing, and nobody else has it. But then, the 12-year-old boy that still exists, that exists in him too, and he like blows it that way. But it's just like the big picture is still beautiful of him.
Yeah, I agree. And so this is the thing: is do we have to be socially responsible with our actions and what we say? How does it affect some people? Is that okay to affect people negatively en masse?
I think as long as you're kind, I don't think it's an impactful. I think as long as you're as kind as your character can be, and you're not an evil. Well, I don't believe in evil, but if, you're just not a madman, and he's not. He's just expressing himself in the most direct, objective way that he can, and that abrades people, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's funny because when I went back to Greece, I saw a lot of my school friends from like 8th grade and 9th grade. And some have been very successful living in Abu Dhabi, and this one guy, he's kind of odd because he's like a playboy. He's got kids, never got married, and he is a really good seller. He can talk you into buying, ice in Alaska. And so they were kind of debating around the table how he should change. And I said, I don't know, you are who you are, be who you are. It doesn't matter. You don't change for people. And maybe that's one thing that starting my own business right out of college, I don't give a shit what people think about me. I did it on my own. I don't have to answer to anybody. And I think that's his attitude too, where he doesn't give a shit. And if his text or tweets are going to affect Tesla's stock, he doesn't care. He's going to say whatever he wants to say. And he's bold. I mean, taking over Twitter, changing it to X, losing all the advertisers. And now he says that you can't tell people to stop following you. I mean, he does things and you wonder, okay, has he put thought into it? And I think when you see interviews, there was one with the BBC that you've got to watch that's really amazing.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, he just hung that guy up. he said...
He's so thoughtful. He's so thoughtful that you just can't not trust something about him. Like, he's very thoughtful. He's not a madman.
He's authentic. So yeah, that definitely cuts through a lot of the noise. Despite some of the times where I think to your point, maybe like, I think there are things he's very passionate about, or when something, and of course it's natural for everyone to do this, right? When something is personal to you, he'll voice that with a lot more emphasis, like in that BBC interview, or, I think there was a point where he had a bad reaction to one of the vaccines he took. Then he kind of had a different stance on his opinion. Bitcoin to Doge, all those things. Just wanted to remind, we're going to have a hard stop in 3 minutes at 7:30. But man,
okay, just to finish the Camille, like your AI stocks, I personally think Microsoft, Tesla, Nvidia were too high. I invested in this smaller company called AI, and I'm just going to accumulate. And so Apple, one of my biggest mistakes in life is in 1988, I became certified technician for Apple, a reseller. So I had an Apple store. We used to meet with Steve Jobs every 6 months in Cupertino. I bought $2,000 of Apple stock at, I think it was $6. When it went to $22, I said, oh, it's gone too high, and I sold it. So looking back, I think you pick a stock in a company you believe in, you like, and you just hold it. I would have.
Absolutely. And I think the flying taxi stock too is going to do well. It's just when to enter it. Kathy Wood is still, she's already entered it. She's still sold some Tesla probably to do that. But, it's like, when do you enter these volatile stocks? And I think maybe early's good, but then I don't know. It's hard
so
to know.
I'll give you an example. I used to be a day trader at one point in time, and then I remember when Google did its IPO, and I think it came out at $80 or something. And I said, oh, that's going to go down, And then Facebook came out at 32. And I said, nah, I'm not going to buy any. I should have just bought both of them at the time and just held on to them.
Absolutely. And I think Tesla right now, if you buy it right now in 2027, it's going to be $2,000. So, I mean, it's like, how much can you accept volatility when it's and it's an innovative stock? Anything innovative is going to be volatile. But if you see something in the horizon, turn the corner, and that's all you see, like, you got to invest in it. It's a no-brainer.
One thing about Tesla, as an engineer, my wife wanted to get a Tesla. I said, no way, I'm not buying an electric car. I still have my doubts about migration to fully electric cars in terms of disposing of batteries. Like, I think there was some Teslas that was for sale. You can get an incentive, and they're $24,000, but they said beware, because you may have to buy a $20,000 battery. So I'm not 100%.
Oh, you will every 70,000 miles. You will, but it is the driving experience of a Tesla is so worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah,
and
but in California,
it's so safe. It's so safe. It's the safest car on the road.
I know, but in California, especially driving around LA, I just would get this anxiety, Like, even the CEO of Ford took a F-150 Lightning, and he went on a 680-mile trip, and he discovered that he had to wait in certain towns for like 3 to 4 hours to get a partial charge. And he's now negotiating with Tesla to use their charging stations, but they have a limit. So all the companies that have electric cars want to do the same thing.
Another brilliant move by Elon to really market his chargers, which there's no other charger that compares. There's no innovator that's better than he thinks of everything.
Yeah, but I like my internal combustion engine. And I don't want computers running my car. I have a 2007 Chevy truck. Okay.
I had a 1995 Jeep Wrangler until very recently. And then I drove a Tesla, and I was like, what the heck was I doing all these years? Seriously.
Yeah. I just like a car that doesn't have too much computer stuff in it.
I know, that's what I said too when I got the Jeep Wrangler. That old school mentality of if it has too many parts, if it has too many computers, it's going to break. You're not going to be able to figure it out like a carburetor. You can figure that out. That is old school, and you and I are both over 50, and I think that's why.
Yeah, but it's okay to be oil. Like, for example, I said when I came to the States, I said, okay, I'm going to contribute to this chaos. And when things get really bad, like we stop accepting cash in the US, I'm going to retire to a Greek island, sit on the beach, sip red wine, read a real book, and have a flip phone. Okay?
I think
I'll do it with you. We'll do that
right along
trajectory.
on. So we're right here at a little over 7:30. I think it was a great meeting, great conversation. And then I just want to remind everyone, we were able to record this. So if you have any issues, just let us know right now. We won't use your face or any of the conversation. Does anyone have any objection?
I don't have any.
Okay.
No.
Thank you, Camille. Are you okay?
Thanks, guys. It's so much fun. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thanks. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Take care. Bye.